Bada bing, bada boom. Now I just need to share the stream. Gotta get a bunch of links and put it all over servers. I do not know how to schedule streams. That is not something I know how to do yet. Share. Copy link. Go over to Discord. Go to my scan server into the promotion. Put that in. Got like 9 different servers I need to go through just to send the promotion that I'm live. Or on all the promotion chats. Go into that server. This is the other promotion server. Should probably count how many servers I'm actually in where I can promote. I have them all like separated so I can see exactly which. Self-promo 2. The Mukin server. Jay's Purgatorium. Gotham City. Character stats and profile server. What up, Mr. 23 days later? It's been 23 days if it's been a year, am I right? Send all that. Okay, I think that's every server I can promote in has a link now in there. Oh, hi, Mr. Dog. Oh, hi, dog. Dog has come to see me because parents are not home now. Ain't that right, Mr. Stinky Dog? I only got like one question put in on the post that I made on YouTube so far. Oh yeah, I should probably do that share thing where I share it to my community tab. That might be a good idea. Click on that. Share it to my... Oh, that's probably gonna trigger that. Share. How do I share that? Create a post. There we go. We live. Boom. And there you go. That is now there. I got a second monitor open. It says 2 viewers, but I know it's not. That second viewer is likely just me going onto my profile and promoting it again. Oh boy. Guess I'm pretty sure I've only gotten one question asked.
Made it without a blender.
That's how you make a milkshake without a blender. Oh, I gotta expand this. Do you still think Toby Rama solos One Piece with Gear 5 now being a... I never thought he soloed the verse. I just thought it, well, just going off like some of the author statements where it's like you only have to be like waist deep in water and it can be any body of water no matter what it is, and then you can just like neg a devil fruit user or whatever. So I just made the joke that if Toby Rama like scales in speed to like anyone in the verse, then he can just like drag him underwater or just summon a tsunami and whatnot, and that could just like, you know, drag him underwater, nerf them and kill them, whatever. But I never thought he soloed the whole verse. Like later on, like he definitely gets beaten by a lot of people, but he does beat a lot of, I think at least that he beats a lot of people because he can just drag them underwater or again summon a tsunami or Because like we've seen him in the anime be able to like drag people into a puddle as if they were in an ocean. So literally, if there's just a puddle on the ground, he can just drag you into it. And we've even seen like Chunin be able to do that, where they just like hide in puddles and stuff. So it's like not impossible for that to happen. I don't know where he would cap though, purely because I don't actually watch One Piece. So let's see if I can get some like background music going. That way I'm not alone with my own thoughts. That's Summer Barguest. Ooh, baby. I don't think he's comparable to Hashirama by that much. I just think that he scales relative enough to say whether you think the Sanin or not, or to like a low Kage tier, which are like definitely light speed and shit like that, if you go by the scaling and whatnot. And I mean, you can get Tobirama, FTL, FTL plus, whatever you want. Like you can scale him anywhere depending on what meta you use, and then just say that he can just drag somebody underwater, or again summon a tsunami. And then if he's relative enough in AP, even especially if he's an Edo, then he can, not really die. Someone would have to seal him. He grew up fighting people with precognition. So because like the Sharingan straight up stated precog, we see Sasuke be able to literally see people's moves before they make them, just by like looking at their movements. And Tobirama literally grew up in a war with those people and having to know how to combat it. So he can deal with like some hockey users being able to precog him and shit. So as long as he's not like super outclassed in speed, I think he has a chance against the majority of the verse. But then again, I don't know. All I know is that the most consistent One Piece scale is like continental to multi-continental, and you can scale Tobirama to like any like lower bijous who are can be like argued continental and stuff like that. Hot take, I think Tobirama beats Itachi and MS Sasuke. I don't think I'd go that far. Like I think, yeah, I don't think he goes that far really. I think I would say he stops at like the higher Sonin tier, or like the mid Kage stuff. I don't know, man. Until we get like more information about how he died and shit, you can't really tell how good he was or anything. I mean, he's smart as hell, but all of his stuff in like the war arc and stuff, you can just make a lot of arguments that he's not so great, that he is so great, and all that stuff. Okay, background music. What's some good style of background music to play that's non-copyright? Do like lo-fi. Well, I mean, lo-fi is always the lo-fi royalty free. How strong can Saber from Fate get? I mean, it can go as strong as she dang wants. But, well, because like her phantasm is stated to get stronger. Uh, if it's like the last hope type thing, considering it's like the last phantasm of the planet and stuff like that. Stated to be conceptual weapon, a divine construct. Like it's stated conceptual like multiple times, even in like the more recent Lost Belts and stuff. That stated that the sacred sword is conceptual, considering like this one person can become the concept of the sacred sword. So if like especially if you go with the Fate Triple C scaling, where she's able to like beat Tamamo and Nero, but like still loses to Gilgamesh and whatnot. Then you can scale it to like that outer versal level, 8th dimensional level. I even found more stuff on the moon cell recently. More stuff about like the imaginary number space and stuff like that, which is the things that are stated to be like have no concept of distance or time and all that stuff. So like even on a bare minimum level, you can get her to 8th dimensional and then near the peak of the verse. But there is like the outer versal scaling. I think there was a version of something that somebody showed me. Oh, if I can, I don't want a 4K video. I also don't want a live video. Change that quality down just so I don't get beat in the butt. If the music's too loud, let me know. Should be working good. Well, I mean, if you like rat, turn that down a bit more. It's like literally the lowest I can get it. If you rat, you can get Goku like really high, especially with like the scans and the statements from like some of the data books and Daizenshu and all that shit that say that the power of the gods of destruction transcend dimensions or some shit, and then it gets too wacky at that point, and I really don't like that line of scaling at all. But I know I've seen Sonic scaling that puts him at like 7D. I don't agree with it, but real American patriots. I banned my kids from watching cartoons. I mean, modern cartoons, yeah. I hate modern cartoons. I look at them and I just get angry, but they teach their own. Should probably lock these images so they don't go flying if I try to drag them around. There we go. Probably can also go to my volume mixer. Okay, where's Firefox's bar? Turn that down just so the music's not so loud. Kind of, yeah. I mean, I didn't watch too many cartoons when I was younger. I did watch Kid vs. Cat. That one was pretty funny. I watched SpongeBob, obviously. I watched Spider Riders, but I don't know if that's considered an anime or not. But Spider Riders was awesome. I mean, I think Bakugan was an anime. I watched that one. But I think I'm pretty sure that is an anime, actually. So that wouldn't really classify as a cartoon. Anytime I try to think of the cartoons I watched, I can't remember. Oh, I did watch Seven Little Monsters. That one was good. Seven Little Monsters. Blue's Imaginary Friends. Or the Imaginary Foster Home for Friends or some whatever the full title for that show was. Ah, crack my neck. Ooh. What else is there? Anytime I try to think of old cartoons, I can just never remember them. Old kids cartoons. Search that up and just read them. Okay, I watched Rugrats, SpongeBob, Simpsons. I watched the Flintstones. I've kind of seen Powerpuff Girls. I don't think I watched Doug. Didn't really watch Courage the Cowardly Dog. I watched a little bit of Arthur and Ed, Ed and Eddie. I definitely watch Looney Tunes. Regular Show, Adventure Time, Amazing World of Gumball, TMNT. I watched one of the TMNTs. I don't remember which one it was, but I watched one of them. I also did watch the older Spider-Man, like the older Spider-Man, like the 1991 or something like that. That one was good. Let's see. Pinky and the Brain. I don't think I really watched that one. Ben 10. I did watch Ben 10. I also watched Teen Titans. I haven't seen a lot of cartoons. Because, like, after a certain point, like, when I got, like, my first Xbox and stuff, I just, like, never watched TV. Ever. Just never had much of a desire to watch anything. Any of that stuff. Childhood cartoons, 2010. I think also after this stream, I might try to make, like, a timeline. Like, a... Or timestamps. That way, if anyone does, like, go into the stream after it's live and stuff like that, you can just jump the points and whatnot. But yeah, regular show. Yeah, I've seen like a couple episodes of regular show, but I never actually like sat down to watch multiple episodes. Unless like a couple friends were streaming it on Discord or something. That's the only time I've really watched it. Howdy. Aloha. I know, I like never listen to lo-fi music. I only put lo-fi music in my videos because I don't know what to put in them. I think my first two videos were all not Hotline Miami. They were I'm drawing a blank on the name of the game. Katana Zero. A lot like all of the tracks in my first two videos were Katana Zero. And then anytime I just look up royalty-free music, and that's just what I use for my background music. Yeah, I'm trying to think of like modern cartoons that I've actually seen. That's not like, say, Family Guy that's still going and all that. Modern cartoons. Never... I did watch Avatar, but not really. I've seen episodes of Rick and Morty, but I don't know, like, watching an episode from time to time is okay. I can't sit through that whole series. South Park is good. Love King of the Hill. I used to watch a lot of Robot Chicken. Never finished Clone Wars. I hate Steven's Universe with a passion, so I don't want to watch that ever. South Park is amazing. I never played the games though, like the Holy Stick of Truth or whatever. And the Fractured Butthole, I think is what they were called. And I never watched them. I did have a question on my community tab there. Probably read it now. Ultimate Spider-Man was good at the start, and then it fell off with season 3 for me. Because like I really like season 1, but then again, when I watched Ultimate Spider-Man, it was immediately after Spectacular Spider-Man. Like I finished Spectacular Spider-Man, looked up that the rest of it was canceled, and then started Ultimate Spider-Man because I heard that was like the replacement for it. Watched all of season 1, genuinely liked it. Watched season 2, it was good. Like I think there's a couple episodes I didn't like. And then the third season is when it just started getting too repetitive and I just didn't like it at that point. My favorite part about the show was the monkey sound effect. Like anytime like Peter got surprised by something, it would just play like the monkey screaming sound effect. I wonder if there's a soundbite of that. Ultimate Spider-Man monkey sound. Yeah, that one. Turn up the volume and replay that. That monkey scream, I love it. That would always get me to giggle. And then after that, I just didn't care. It started to get boring for me after season 3. I liked the characters in it too. Like Tigress was pretty cool, but I stopped liking her after like partway through season 2. Uh, Iron Fist was good. Who else was a part of the cast? I didn't like Nova. I didn't really like Nova very much. I just missed Spectacular Spider-Man. That was my favorite. I also watched like that all CGI Spider-Man. What was that one called? Spider-Man show. Spider-Man the new animated series? Is that what it was? Yeah, the new animated series. The designs for that were definitely like weird as hell, but I didn't hate it. I don't know if he beats him, but I think it's a closer fight. I mean, Toby's my boy, so I can't go against him there. But it's just like, I mean, there's all the concrete scaling to put him above Tom. But yeah, I can agree with Toby winning more times than not. Yeah, because if I were to say I think he'd win like six, like in a 6-4 ratio, or like 6 out of 10 times type thing, where it's like he can lose, but he can also like win more times than not. Because we've seen in like reflexes, like just going right off the bat with like no warning for anything, like Toby has like outreacted Andrew. Yeah, Tom's only winning with prep, but even then you have to be very generous with the prep. Is I mean, I could go into a tie, like a 30-minute tirade on why Toby and Andrew are both above Tom, but it's like anytime that Toby's on screen in the newer movie there, he's dominating or casually fighting all of the villains, or whenever he does fight them, he just kind of kicks them away, does whatever. Like it doesn't seem like he's trying that hard. And like Andrew's basically doing the same thing. It's just that like the only time Andrew like is kind of getting overpowered is with Lizard, when Lizard's like pinning him down and whatnot. And like Toby with a casual kick can just like kick him away like no issue. So it's like, well, you can just attribute that to Toby being stronger and whatnot. So like, I think they're just like relative, like extremely relative to each other. The classic meme of Toby's stronger, Andrew's faster type thing. But I don't think the speed difference is that crazy. Yeah, Electro with the arc reactor would definitely beat them, considering like without the city's power grid, he can like press Spider-Man or Andrew. Then with like all of like Manhattan or like New York's power, he's able to like become a god, and Andrew can only just like dodge around him and whatnot. And then he gets like a little bit of juice, or he gets like the arc reactor, which can like power. What was the scene for? Was it for Iron Man 2? Where just like even the most earliest version of the arc reactor could power like all of New York for like 100 years or something, and Electro just like grabs like a more advanced version of it and assimilates it to himself, who's already stronger from being just in the MCU, just in general. So it's like, yeah, Electro stomps at that point. I think there's calcs that put him at city level, or like like definitely city level, but this Toby and Andrew I think more or less scaled the city block, and then Sandman and whatnot would just scale above, more or less. Sandman and Electro. Considering like Sandman, when like in a certain scenario, if there's like no water around that you can like toss him into. I mean, well, they were fighting on water or by water in the movie, but like you see, like Toby was just trying to run away from him because there was nothing he could do. he had to like wait for the cure, and he almost like died by being drowned in sand. So yeah, I think there's calcs that put what's his face at like city level. I just don't think the Spider-Man go above city block. Baki versus Fate Fighters. I'm pretty sure if you go with like just random statements and stuff like from the Baki characters, they pretty much have it. Like Baki's just meant to be a goofy show. Like you have I'm pretty sure there's a scene in Baki where somebody punches a caveman so hard that he starts believing in Jesus and was like the originator of Christianity because the guy fucking punched him in the head hard enough. like like or it's like, you just emptied all your bladder. How are you gonna get out of this tetrahedron? Or something like that. Or just like wacky statements, but like the Fate Fighters definitely aren't much to be like scoffed at, considering you have someone like Achilles who's like stated to be like a pancration master, which like I put in my video, you can't really say that. What was the argument I used? Because I think I actually had ChatGPT like give me that argument. I think I put it in my scan server somewhere. Yeah, so in a theoretical scenario, it is difficult to determine how pancration, because I was using it in reference to pancration, would fare against modern MMA. MMA fighters would likely have an advantage due to their comprehensive training, including striking, grappling, submissions, and conditioning. However, it's important to remember that historical pancration may not be the same as its ancient counterpart. The rules, techniques, and training methodologies may have changed over time. Ultimately, it would depend on the individual fighters and their skills. But then you have Achilles just like doing like triple flips, and like you can grab his ankle and he can just twist and kick you in the face midair. Like that, like sure, Fate pancration is definitely like, obviously it's the same as modern, or not the same as modern, but like inspired from ancient pancration, which originated in ancient Greece for like the Olympic Games in like 600 BC or 400 BC or something, whatever it was. So it's kind of hard to compare it that way. But because like there's definitely like people from ancient Greece were definitely not doing like triple flips, like side kicks from the air, like while they're suspended midair, and like doing all this stuff where you're just like doing backflips off of people's arms and whatnot. So like it's definitely different for the Fate verse. But then you have statements with like Li Shuen and whatnot, who's like a master among masters who like transcended the need for physical attacks. So, and who can like punch someone so hard in the chest that their heart stops, like stuff like that. So when you do Baki versus like Fate Fighters, if it's like equal stats, then like Baki kind of has that advantage, like just the Baki verse in general. But as soon as you put but yeah, as soon as you put all that stuff in there, it just gets really waxed. But I'm pretty sure Fate could get through a decent portion of Baki. Like if you got, say, like Li Shuen or Achilles, especially considering like they're like MMA masters and whatnot. What other questions we got? Yeah, Baki versus Fate. What do you think? What do I think Deku caps and Shippuden? I don't know where Deku scales right now, really. I just know he's like FTL and country level or something. And Naruto's country level with like the Jinchurikis and whatnot, or like anything that's like KCM, or like, because think like a fart of the Nine Tails' chakra is enough to survive the Ten Tails Cataclysm, which is like calced at Continental and whatnot. So I think like AP wise, the top of MHA kind of caps like in the War Arc. Like especially like if you think of a Prime All Might or Deku scaling above All Might, whatever. get them to that point, and it just comes to speed at that point, and I'm pretty sure without using the meme scaling of like the naval laser, then they've reached FTL like a while ago, or they've been close to it or close enough. And I think like AP wise they kind of cap at like the war arc. Whatnot. Still want to get some input for a video I plan on making. Yeah, I'd also, yeah, so I mean, I don't know much about the scaling for My Hero anyway. Your versus Yujiro would be funny, but I think if you go with like Baki's like non-equal stats, then Baki would probably still like, or Yujiro would still win. I'm pretty sure Yujiro has like the most absurd statements known to man. I think he's said to be like the strongest weapon on Earth, and like the presidents have to like form friendships with him so like he doesn't like kill them or whatever. Like, it's insane. Because I mean, Yor has statements of like army battalions, or what was it? There was a specific statement about Yor, or like garden or assassins from the garden, that they're just like really overpowered, or they have like a lot of lore to them. Yeah, hit a ball fast and sound, blah blah blah. Keep scrolling, keep scrolling. Where did I put it? This was when he was talking about one. Oh yeah, here it is. The assassin group that has supposedly been operating in this country for a while now. I thought half the stories about them were urban legends. No, they're very much real. They've been purging traitor after traitor under orders from the shadow government. They aren't some random yahoos. They say just one of their soldiers can wipe out a military troop and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, Yor definitely has like some stupidly impressive feats, like hitting a ball into orbit at like massively hypersonic speeds or something. I think it's been calced already, or like hypersonic speeds. And like, I've never seen Baki. I just know that he has like really absurd statements. Like, I mean, I'm pretty sure like if if that ever happened, it would be a gag, and like where Yujiro would survive. Like, you'd say, oh, he went into this like weird stance that blocks nuclear radiation, and then he just ran away from the blast or something. Like, that's just kind of how like Baki as a verse operates. But I mean, I'm pretty sure if you just slam the nuke on his head, he's not living, but I would have no idea if a nuke could kill him. So versus wiki. I know versus wiki is not an authority, but I want to see where they have him. Yujiro Hanma, they have him at city block level and high hypersonic. Which, like, I'm pretty sure Yor is like building level and hypersonic or massively hypersonic or whatever. So like, I think Yor might be faster, and then just Yujiro would be stronger, type thing. If there's an earthquake feat with Yujiro, I would have no idea about that. Yeah, because I have like scaling in my scan server. But yeah, Yor can perceive, is above Fiona, who like can't perceive her moves and reacted to like at like Mach 3 speeds, dodging spears. I trust links from this site. It would either be something like him just like digging to the core, like not the core of the earth, but like digging underground and adopting the an ancient martial arts stance which could block radiation or something. Like, it would just be like something stupid like that. Meters, something about gravity, blah blah blah. Where did I put the calc? Oh yeah, at 32. Yeah, so like there's the calc for Yor, but like hitting the ball into orbit is calced at like high hypersonic. And then if you go with meme scaling, light speed throws and stuff, but ever heard of Dice Ray or the Shinzo? I have no idea what those are. Let's look this up. DIS E-Ray. Yes, E-Ray. I think these thumbnails look familiar, but I've never seen them. And I have no idea what Shinzo Bancho is. It ain't sad that you're a similar scaling to Demon Slayer. It's poggers. She got high hypersonic and things. Long story short, there's an earthquake happening. Yujiro punched the ground, stopping it. That's awesome. Large building and hypersonic. Then again, Spy X Family is definitely more of a parody show, and they have a lot of gag feats. Like there's a lot of gags and whatnot with Spy X Family, so like scenes where she like drinks pufferfish poison and then she's just like, oh, I feel good now, and the bullet wound on my ass doesn't hurt anymore. Dice Ray is a part of the Shinzo Bancho verse. It's similar to the Nasu verse. Yeah, I've never heard of it before. Where's the one feat of her just like throwing a shirt button at someone so hard she knocks them out? Where's that feat? Somewhere. Save images. Go. Button. Label this photo button. Who's your favorite servant? My favorite servant is tied between Gilgamesh, Achilles, Merlin, and probably Castoria now. Like, after Lost Belt 6, I really like Castoria. Like, she's awesome. Do you think Gotenks could have killed Super Buu? Oh yeah, easily. Well, Super Buu as in the one he fought, like Buhan, no. But if it's just like the Super Buu that he was fighting, he was kind of dominating, like he was making Super Buu mad. So like Gotenks could have probably killed him or like destroyed him, but obviously there's the time limit, and then Buhan or Super Buu just being a sneaky little bugger. Just like this little doggy sitting next to me. Do you know Human Echo? I've never watched or read anything Human Echo related. The only like knowledge I have of Human Echo is from like a Discord server where I've talked to someone about Human Echo and like its comparisons with Fate. And then one debate I had where it was like Beatrice with the Red Truth versus Comp Fate. Like I had a debate with that. And I did win the debate on a technicality, but that was basically it. That's like all my real knowledge of Human Echo. Let's see. I want to get that image up here now. Image, add source, browse, pictures. I will label the button. Yeah, just like this image right here. Like, she literally takes a shirt button off of someone and then just whips it at a guy's jaw and then just knocks him out. It's just a funny little bit. it's not a gag feat, obviously. It's not like Toon Force or anything, but like it's still funny. I want to delete this image. Impressions on ORT. I don't know like anything about ORT other than like what someone's posted in my scan server, and that he can like regenerate from singular cells, he can resummon himself and stuff like that, but I don't really know anything about him. Kunigawa. Is that the one I'm thinking of? Kunigawa. What anime? Oh yeah, that guy's from Medaka Box, I think, right? Yeah, the guy from Medaka Box is pretty crazy. From what I've heard, I watched 2 or 3 episodes of the first season of Medaka Box, but apparently it doesn't start like doing power scaling stuff until like season 2 or something. Kumagawa's from Yumaneko. Well, there is Kumagawa from Medaka Box who's like the same in the sense that like he's aware that he's in a manga and that he can just like erase the panels, or like or in the anime he like, or in an anime he took away the colors of the anime or something. It was very weird. Yeah, so yeah, I don't know much about ORT there. Everyone's debating his feat of him copying the servant system for himself. Yeah, because someone in my server has stuff for him in there. I haven't really read through it too much because I don't want to spoil myself. But even while dead, so long as the cells of ORT remain, it is able to like summon itself in servant form, so it just like does that. ORT is like the strongest thing they've faced, so it'd be like stronger than Zeus and all that stuff. ORT doesn't have a concept of death, which is like similar to Tiamat, I guess. Yeah, because Tiamat lacks a concept of death, I know that. But yeah, I wouldn't know. I'll have to wait till it comes out. Kumagawa from Yumaneko is an old lady. According to a friend of mine, Blue Beetle is just soloing the Avengers. Love it. I haven't seen the movie. Or is it out yet? Is Blue Beetle out yet? Blue Beetle release date. Oh yeah, it is out already. It's the 21st. It came out like 3 days ago. I don't know if it's good. Like, I think I watched the review from like Moist Critical, and he said it was pretty alright. Like, it was just like a very generic movie. So, more if you're talking about like skilled fighters in the sense of like hand-to-hand combat, I feel like it's definitely Fate. If it's just like equal stats hand-to-hand combat, for sure. Because the thing with Naruto's combat is you never really they just say taijutsu. They never really expand upon if it's based off of this martial art or this or that and whatnot. So, but then you have, again, like someone like Li Xuan, who's just straight up stated to be a master among masters of martial arts, like his martial art of Baji Quan, which has like multiple styles within it, whether it's fighting with a lance, your fists, legs, like there's multiple branches of Baji Quan, which is like the martial art that he's a master among masters for. says he's like transcended the need for physical attacks because his like passive aura can just like make someone not want to fight. Then again, you have someone like Achilles doing like, again, like fancy backflips and midair kicks, and well, sure, Naruto characters can do that too, but it's like you can't really compare the martial arts systems because there's never much stated other than just saying, oh, they're a master of taijutsu. It's like, okay, they have their own martial arts within the verse, so you can't really compare it to anything unless you say like, oh, Naruto used like Wing Chun in like yeah, so like Wing Chun in the anime. But Wing Chun, I believe, by like most fighters, like UFC fighters or just like any like other martial art in general, usually agree that Wing Chun is one of the most like useless martial arts or something like that. But something like Baji Quan is considered like one of the, if not the most useful Chinese martial art in actual combat, because it's like actually meant for just taking people down. And Wing Chun, I don't know much about it other than it's like strengthening parts of your fist or something and whatnot, and it's like not the worst martial art, but it's not really like great, I've heard. It's fearless in real life. Yeah, again, I would have to like look more into it, but I've seen like, say, either like a YouTube short of a UFC fighter or a Wing Chun master fighting like just like your average boxer or something, and then they just get like actually destroyed. Oh, my dog's going crazy. But yeah, I'm pretty sure Fate has that in the bag for just like on like this kind of skill section. It's like, I don't know, like if you've seen like my Fate hand-to-hand combat video, you can see like the absurd stuff they do. Karate or kickboxing? I'm not too sure. The only martial art I've been studying, like I've actually gone into boxing. So I am going to a boxing gym and I'm taking classes, so I'm actually learning how to box. And I know there's this one YouTuber I watch who's like who does videos about like boxing and kickboxing, and he talks about karate and like the advantages between karate over kickboxing or karate over whatever, and it's like if you do like that weird fancy karate where they're doing all these flips and stuff and it's kind of useless, but when you're talking about like the actual combat and like how they kick and how they punch, it's like a not too bad, like it's pretty fast, but I'm pretty sure kickboxing is a more like better thing to learn. Because I know a lot of like again, UFC fighters, they don't like karate or this that. But yeah, the only martial art I have like actual physical experience with is boxing. I've been doing it for like a month now. So, and then what else? After I do boxing for a little bit, I'm probably gonna start doing Muay Thai, because there's a Muay Thai gym close to where I work. So I might start learning that after I get like a better foundation of boxing. Yeah, Muay Thai is considered like one of the it's considered like one of the most intense martial arts. Like I've seen even clips like of Joe Rogan talking about it, and he's like, Muay Thai is ruthless because Muay Thai is punches, elbow strikes, knees, clinches. So like it's argued to be like the best striking martial art, especially if it's like combined with boxing. Like if you have like a guy who's like trained in Muay Thai and boxing, their striking game is like off the charts and whatnot. Yeah, I started streaming like, oh shit, I was streaming for almost an hour. Didn't even notice. Strongest Fate Servant. No idea. Yeah, Joe Rogan's got some like Joe Rogan's got some crazy statements. Like he's definitely said some weird stuff, but like you see other like people talk about Muay Thai, and Muay Thai is just seen as like one of the better martial arts out there. But yeah, so after I finished Last of Us 6, wasn't really impressed with Melusine. Albion, how strong would you say she is? I mean, I think she's just like your average high tier servant. Like, because Muramasa could not like beat her on his own, considering like with the air advantage and all that stuff, but he was able to like get past Barghest and whatnot. But then again, Barghest might have not been going all out. But I just think she's not too great in terms of like scaling, but I don't think she's horrible. I just think she's on like that high tier servant, like high, like I don't know if you want to say high class or whatever, but yeah. Yeah, boxing, I do recommend that if you get into boxing and you go to a boxing gym, I highly, highly, highly recommend you get your cardio up first before you go. Like, do a jog around the block like once a day, whatever, because at least with the gym that I go to, the first class I ever went to was on a Sunday about a month ago. And the first thing we did was do a jog around on the block, around the block, but it's next to like kind of like a strip mall / business area, so it's like a long block if you were to go around. It's like a really big square. And I hadn't done a serious set of workouts in 3 years leading up to that point. And after that class, I could not walk for 5 days. Well, more or less 2 days, but I felt pain for the next 5 days. It was bad. It really put into perspective how out of shape I was. But the second class wasn't as bad. Still gassed like partway through it. But my first class was so bad that I had to sit out during a couple sessions on the bags because I just couldn't breathe. And boxing is very, very cardio heavy. So you need to have good cardio, or at least jog for like a week, or at least a week, like once a day, just to get some base of a stamina. Because my god, I was dying. And then my last class was good. I got tired, but like I wasn't gassed until like the end of the thing. So like my stamina is definitely improving. But even just like because last time I went was Friday, and the time before that was Sunday again. And Sunday is the guy that's like the more intense coach apparently. And this guy made us again run around the block once. When we got back, did 20 burpees, run around the block again, do 20 more burpees, run around the block again, do mountain climbers in like 30-second intervals with 10 seconds of rest. Did that about like 6 or so times, and then do the same thing with squats, and then immediately go upstairs and into the building there and start shadow boxing and bag drills like immediately. So it's like, it's again very cardio heavy. Oh, doggy, why you cry? Why you cry? I'm crying, boy. So I'm all I have to jog then. Maybe it's due to my cardio. Like, I mean, I used to have good cardio. Like I played football so I did 2 years in club, and then 3 years combined for like middle school and high school. So I played football for 5 years. So I definitely had like decent cardio, but it wasn't that great. I was more of a short distance sprinter than anything. Oh, this dog. I was more of a short distance sprinter. Like I was terrible when it came to man makers, and we had a thing during practice sometimes called fourth quarter, which was just all cardio drills. It was disgusting. But our coach made us do it purely because he says games are won in the fourth quarter. So we would have to bring our stamina up so we wouldn't be gassed by the fourth quarter. So, like, that was always good. And then about 9 months before COVID, I was going to the gym for 9 months. I went every second day, and I did a lot of cardio. Like, I jogged around this track where it's like, I think 3 laps is a mile or something. So I jogged around the block, or I jogged around this track once where I did 5 laps without stopping. Doggy, why you cry? Did about 5 laps, so I think a little over a mile without stopping. And like, so I could run for a mile without stopping. And that's like how good my cardio was getting. And then COVID hit and I didn't work out for like 3 years. Yugi versus Ozymandias collab. Jeez, my dog is making noises. Why are you crying? Quiet. You are so loud. Yugi versus Ozzy. I can't remember. I can't remember if I posted about that on the community tab, but if Blue is still in here, if the Blue is still in here, me and him were thinking about doing that, but I'm not sure if it's gonna happen. I don't know. I mean, sure, like, we did the one collab video of, like, Goku versus Vader, but, oh yeah, Blue's still here. But, yeah, we were talking for a while about, like, Ozzy versus Yugi, which it basically comes down to me finding scaling that puts it on Yu-Gi-Oh's higher tier scaling. Because, like, yeah, you can say Ozzy, he's relative or on the level of the highest of tier of servants, and you can scale him to, like, whether you can scale him to Mooncell characters or not. And then, like, bare minimum, I can get him to multiversal. Or, like, low multi, like, at a bare minimum, but Yu-Gi-Oh! Does have, like, higher dimensional stuff. Yeah, so they definitely do have higher dimensional stuff, and I think Blue was saying they have, like, complex multi-scaling, and I can get Fate above complex multi, but to get them at that level without, like, putting them too low or too high is really hard, so I have to go into Ozzy scaling. Sometimes I really don't like is how many spells caster servants have, or what they even have, like Merlin. Yeah, you can... It's so hard to tell, like, what people have. But, so I did do the Lost Belt or whatever. So we're looking at those, okay. So, let me go to my server. Lost Belt 6. So, like, I did find some stuff about, like, spells that Merlin has. Like, so this is in Lost Belt 6, where Merlin can turn back... This is just what I typed in my server, so I'm just reading off of it. But Merlin can turn back time. Although it makes his avatar disappear, his true body being fine in Avalon, he basically makes an illusion so potent that it puts people to sleep, and when they wake up, it turns back time. So, because basically, Cernunnos, who's like a Celtic god, he's emerging from the pit in Lost Belt 6, and they can't stop him. They legitimately cannot stop him with anything that they have. So Merlin says, like, basically, I'm going to give you guys a fighting chance. I put it under an illusion. All I have to do is, quote, wake it up, and it'll be as if the last 2 hours never happened. So what does he say? Yeah, specifically, I'm going to turn back the clock on Cernunnos at least a little bit. Once Cernunnos shows up and covers the land in his curse, not even the Sacred Sword's protection will be enough for you to win. I'm going to have him go back in time by, oh, let's say 2 hours. I suspected something like this might happen, so I've had the entire pit in a dream. Once I have Cyrano wake up, it'll be as though the events of that dream, that is everything that took place over the last 2 hours, never happened. So he can basically put someone under an illusion so potent that it just turns back time when he wakes them up from it. And the thing is, Cyrano seems to be awake, like he's destroying stuff, he's spreading across all of Britain, and then Merlin's just like, nope, and then he just turns back time. So like he does have time manip to a degree, and that's just like just with his illusions. We know he has like self-manifestation, so he can manifest in like different timelines and stuff. But he does teleport the main cast, which like Da Vinci says that it's a space-time tremor, so he can teleport people through space-time. But like he's never stated to have specific spells. Random question, but anyone here keep up? I don't think I've seen Fast and the I think I've only seen the first Fast and the Furious. Like I haven't seen like any of them. I think it's pretty whack. Fate. Where's my Merlin tab? I actually found some more stuff about Merlin's what do you call it? Immortality. Because Morgan herself says Merlin is nightmare incarnate. No matter how many times you try to kill him, he bounces back out of nowhere and leaves you with horrible memories. So like she says like she can't kill him. And then every time he dies, he just goes back to Avalon, which is like the land of dreams. So I think that's like type 9 immortality or something like that. Yeah, so he's immortal, he's a half incubus. Second this body is smashed, I will reappear in the world of dreams. And he's just sealed in Avalon, which is like a 6th-dimensional conceptual realm. Oh, parents are home. Merlin from Fate. I've only watched like a very little bit of Seven Deadly Sins. Like I think I only watched like the first three or four episodes, and then I just really didn't like it. I know a little bit about the Cthulhu mythos, but nothing too much. Because like Cthulhu, or like, well, Lovecraft, Lovecraft works, or like Lovecraftian demons exist in Fate. So like there is some of that stuff that exists in Fate. Like I think there's one character who like has Cthulhu in them or something. I don't know. There is something to do with Cthulhu and Fate. I just don't know what it is. Or that he, like, I think he exists in Fate because, like, Lovecraft demons exist in Fate. So, like, there's this thing that apparently, like, H.P. Lovecraft exists in Fate, like, as a servant, but I'm pretty sure that's just a fanon thing. Like, he's not actually real. Or, well, he's not a servant in the series, at least. But yeah, Merlin is extremely whack. There's also this statement from, like, that Garden of Avalon novel where, what does it say here? That Merlin can perceive all of existence within the present time. Didn't BB fuse with Near... I cannot say that. Who is that? Let me look them up. I don't know who that is. Neratep can be called a trickster, is a being from deep space that does not exist on Earth. Oh, I've heard of this one. It's one of like the, yeah, because Fate has they have outer gods in Fate, which are like Lovecraftian demons, like they're said to be outer gods. As one of the outer gods whose power is manifested through the servant BB Pele. I think that's Summer BB. Yeah, Summer BB. It's called Trickster, as being a deep space that does not exist on Earth and is not even from the same universe originally. It is something that is able to entice every intelligent life form, toying with them and cause them to self-destruct. Yeah, this is from the summer event. Yeah. It is not for certain what powers Notha possesses inside the Nasuverse, but even a piece of his power, which is supposedly provided to BB during the fleeting meeting, is able to create a time loop for Hawaii and restore her powers from the moon cell. Morgan so far is the most busted spell. Why did the music stop? There we go. Yeah, Morgan definitely has like some good spells in the Lost Belt. Like she has like the water mirror, which she's able to like send stuff back in time. She is able to clone herself, and each of her clones have her exact powers and skill sets. Like they're exact copies of her. And she can make like dozens of them. Well, she has her Fey eyes, which are able to see through all lies. Like they can see through lies and the true intent behind them, whether they're like lies of omission or whatever. She can see through them. Let me control F Morgan and see what all the mentions of her. Yeah, she can create dozens of copies of herself, all with the exact power of the original. She has Fey eyes. Morgan is like a genius among geniuses. Like she was able to understand and use Chaldea's like summoning system and ray shift. She sealed Merlin. Yeah, she did that. She can send the calamities through time. She can use like Rongo Miniad, which can like travel across like space times and shit like that. Like it can travel across Lost Belts, which are their own separate space times. Like they're literally separate. They're said to be separated from space time. They're their own space times, and she's able to like send Rongo Miniad across like these dimensions. She can create QP. Morgan can change someone's name so that no one can perceive it anymore. She can take down barriers, which removes the concept of strength itself or something. And stuff like that. Like, yeah, Morgan is, like, ridiculous. But even she admits that she can't kill Merlin. Like, no, I think it's like nobody can kill Merlin. But there's a statement in the Fako material books, which I posted in my Merlin video, but I don't think I actually posted the statement in my Merlin video. But it says that like Merlin cannot physically die, like at all, or something like that. And if you look him up on Versus Wiki, they said he's transcended death and that you need the concept of death to kill him. Kind of like with Tiamat. And this comes from his material book profile, which I did find all the raws of the material book. And I know there's like a Reddit link that has all of the material books translated, but the English is really, really broken. So it's hard to understand that English because it's like, oh, he not die, able to, and then it's just like all broken English. So like it's just translated very poorly. So I'm going to go through all of Merlin's like material book, like his pages in the material book, and translate them myself. Because I want to see if the statement about him not being able to die says he's transcended death or not. Does Morgan have infinite power? I have no idea. But, you know, if you use like the scaling of like all servants being like low multi or multiversal because they can fight the demon gods being higher dimensional concepts, blah, blah, blah. Removed from the concept of time, all that. You can argue that any finite power she has is infinitely above the dimension below it. But I don't think she has limitless magic. Like, I don't think she has an infinite amount of magic. But then again, fate servants can, like, eat souls and stuff like that to sustain themselves, and they have quantifiable magic. But there are servants who, like, our magic goes off the charts and stuff like that. And then I think she has had statements about that, but then again, that's like the measuring system that they can't measure her because it's too high type thing. The fastest fake character would be Achilles. Because Achilles is verbatim stated to be the fastest servant of all. Like, he's just stated multiple times to be the fastest. In Fake Grand Order and Apocrypha, like, he's just stated everywhere to be the fastest. Like, so if you're just going with, like, just base servants, then... Yeah, so if you're going with just, like, base servants, then Achilles is the fastest. But if you were to say, like, put Triple C Gilgamesh against base Achilles, and Gilgamesh is gonna blitz him, more than likely. But if you were to have a Grail War, and you summoned Achilles as the rider and the archer as Gilgamesh, with, like, the perfect compatible master and had them fight, Achilles would be faster. Because, Karna is stated to be shoulder to shoulder with Gilgamesh, implying that he is, like, equal to Gilgamesh in terms of, like, just, like, combat ability and all that, and power and all that. And then Achilles is stated to be faster than Karna. Like, it said he's one step ahead of him always in terms of speed. Like if I go Control F, fastest has been, scroll it back, has been recorded in history as the fastest hero among all humanity. Lauded for his great valor and prowess in the Trojan War. In his Faco profile is his phantasm, or one of his phantasms is comet form, which is basically just him while he's on the ground, like running, like with his feet on the ground. It says it's an embodiment of the legend that he is the fastest among all heroes of all eras. His other Fate profile says that he's the swiftest runner among all the heroes in all of time. And then he states himself that he's the fastest runner the world's ever seen as long as he's a servant. And he's just stated to be the fastest. I don't know about Edmond Dantes' Phantasm, so I wouldn't be able to comment on it. I've never, like, researched into him. I just know that he, like, protects the main character's soul. So, like, if you try to mess with him through dreams or through his mind, then, like, Edmond Dantes will show up to protect him, because he just, like, he protects his soul or something like that. So, like, if you try to attack his soul, then you have to deal with Dantes. But I don't know about his Phantasm. I don't know what it does. But if you're talking about just, like, base speed between the servants, then it would be Achilles, because he's stated to be the fastest in, like, all the material books. God Arjana versus Morgan. I don't know. Because God Arjana can, like, basically destroy a timeline. He can destroy timelines and rebuild them. They say when they fight Morgan that, like, they're basically on the ground ready to die, and they have, like, they have Muramasa, they have Castoria, who's, like, rung all the bells of pilgrimage, and I think Castoria in, like, her uber ultra form is, or, like, her sword form, or whatever you want to call it, she's stated to have, like, more raw power than Excalibur and stuff like that. Also, Morgan is, what's his face? Vortigern, or Oberon, basically says that even, like, with all the stuff he had, he probably wouldn't have been able to beat Morgan. And Vortigern has, like, some really absurd statements, so I think, like, in terms of raw power, then Arjana probably has it. But I think, like, Morgan would just be able to out-hacks him, like, easily. What else we got? Yeah, because there's, like, there's this thing in Lost Belt 6 here. It'd be really easy if I just screen captured my Discord. That'd make it a lot easier. See if I can screen capture it. Go screen 2. And then put this down. I'd probably have to show it first, no? There we go. And just like put it down here. Yeah, I'll see you. What did I go with Lost Belt? Lost Belt 6. Funny Celtic God, wacky regen. Oh yeah, like, and what's it called? Vortigern. He can summon a creature that's the concept of emptiness, and that it's a conceptual insect. That the abyssal worm is stated to be like infinite, or like the inside of it's infinite. And like he does doubt that he can't beat Morgan, or like because he said that he basically had to make all of this happen so he could win because he just couldn't beat Morgan on his own. So he does some stuff with that. Proper human history, blah blah blah. Yeah, so like more about the worm being infinite. We can't possibly reach where we fell in. This hole is infinite now that we're inside. That it lacks an entrance or an exit. It's like the concept of emptiness and all that stuff. So like, yeah. So like it's considering that Morgan could arguably defeat Vortigern at this point, would be pretty whack. Or that it's possible that she could have done something to him. So yeah. That's where I think that goes. I know that, I think Azuru, you there. You left me a question on my, community tab there. You asked me, what's my favorite Lost Belt? Well, I think my Castoria is probably my favorite character in one of the Lost Belts. And that maybe... Because I really liked the Atlantis Lost Belt. That one was good. I'm trying to remember all the Lost Belts. Let's see. FGO Lost Belt. Yeah. There you go. Lost Belt. There's a 6. 6 was the British. So listed Lost Belts. Anastasia, didn't like that one. I didn't mind the Eternal Ice one. Genesis Destruction. But Atlantis was okay. Or like I liked Atlantis. I didn't mind Olympus. I think Lost Belt 6 might be my favorite, yeah. I think it might be. There's definitely a lot of like moments and characters I really like in the other Lost Belts. But I did not like the first Lost Belt, really. The first Lost Belt I really didn't like. We got any more questions out there? Give me whatever they want, personal or anime related. checking my Discord really quick. Oh yeah, there was that one thing I wanted to show with like BB and Cthulhu. Under my Fate 1 tab, BB. Control F. Dimensions. Yeah, here, I'll show that again. I did translate this stuff because I could only find it raw, which is weird. But, so, like, and this outer god, like, she is possessed by this outer god, like how I looked it up earlier. What did that one person say? It was, like, Nethel something. Trying to, like, look through the chat to re-find it. Mythos. Nyarlathotep, or whatever it was. So this is what it's referring to with, like, the outer god. So this scan is basically saying that her same presence, or her, like, BB's presence is the same as Abigail's. And then these are basically saying where it's like, I'm better than her, whatever. And it says that she's, like, above, like, the ultimate gate, which, like, the gates reach across all of time and space, and she's, like, above the ultimate gate. Or something like that. And so it's like, the 6 doors up, down, left, right, front, and back represent all possible dimensions. And this outer god is enshrined beyond the ultimate gate, the outside of our universe where light can never reach. But despite that, he also borders all possible dimensions and is tied to all possible things. And this is basically what this is basically the god that's inhabiting BB, like just a fraction of its power is within BB right now. So this is the god that what's that Big Smoke 2000 was referring to, like Nyarlathotep or whatever. So that is the god. I'm pretty sure that's the god that was in BB, and it's just straight up stated to be above all possible dimensions and in tied to all possible things, whatever, and that it exists beyond the universe and all that. My plans for the future, if it's like personal plans, it's just like working more, or like just working, going to boxing more, so like, because I've only been going like once a week more or less for about a month now. I'm probably gonna go tomorrow and then try to go 2 to 3 times a week now and like get an actual membership instead of just paying like drop-in fees. In terms of the channel, I am going to post at some point Gojo versus Ainz, or Ainz versus Gojo, whatever you want to call it. Let's see here. I'm gonna move this off the screen though. Don't want y'all seeing any of my spicy pictures I have in places. Thumbnails. I don't think I saved it in my thumbnail folder yet. Yeah, I didn't save Gojo versus Ainz in my thumbnail yet. Radomko. I just have a bunch of that stuff saved. There it is. Yeah, like, this is probably the thumbnail I'm going to use for it. But, yeah, this is probably going to be my next video. It's already been all scripted. I've recorded the whole script. I just have to, like, sit my ass down and edit it. But this is likely going to be the next video. In terms of videos for the future, I might make a lookism video. Like, basically if Goku was in lookism and like how far he would get. Yeah, the infinity is definitely a little overrated. Like, you can debunk or at least like make it so characters don't need infinite speed to bypass it. Like, it's not hard to do that, like hard to debunk it. But it's like you'll see when the video comes out where I scale them, where I scale both of them. But yeah, saying you gotta buy your first car. Yeah, I mean, I was definitely very fortunate, like very lucky with vehicles, because we needed a truck in the family, basically, because we were doing a lot of work at my grandpa's place. Because he had to be put into a nursing home. He's no longer around now, but we had to have him in a nursing home, and we needed a truck to do like a lot of like dump runs, because he was him and my grandma were basically hoarders. So then, like, there's all that. What else? Yeah, so we needed that truck, and it was like a 2002 Ford Ranger. It was an old truck. It was old when we got it, and I didn't get rid of it till last year. And after I got my license, my dad gave me that truck, and I just had to pay the insurance and everything. And then about a year ago, I got a new truck, which is a 2016 Nissan Frontier. And that truck, I love my truck, because it has like a subwoofer in the back, and yeah. So there's a subwoofer in the back. The bass on that thing is amazing, because it's not the standard stereo. Like, whoever, I guess, owned the truck previously, like, either upgraded the stereo, or when it was made, it was put together with like the stock stereo, and it's like really good. But yeah, I just like having a truck. So, but I did again get help from my parents with putting like a down payment on it. But I am like paying for that truck, like I'm still paying for the loan. But yeah, definitely getting a car, like it's a lot, because my insurance, or like the loan, is $190 bi-weekly. So every, I think, like 2 weeks or whatever, it's $190 for the insurance, or to go towards the loan. The insurance, I think, is like $100 to $90 a month. So I'm paying like close to $300 a month just for that. Does Gilgamesh have any way to bypass Infinity? He would, easily, even without Aya. There's so many weapons within the verse that cut through space-time. Or, like, cut through space. Like, because especially if you go with the statement that Gilgamesh has the prototype to every phantasm. And that he has, like, all the technology, blah, 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 this, that. There are weapons within the verse, like I think it was Khalid Bolg, which is stated to cut through space. So even if Gojo is creating an infinite distance, he could just cut through space with like a prototype of Khalid Bolg. Trying to think of like other spatial manip he has. He would be able to again use the prototype to every weapon, so he'd be able to use the prototype to Gay Bolg, which Gay Bolg warps cause and effect, so like he could just have a weapon appear on his heart if he really wanted, I guess. There's definitely a lot of ways he could. There's also the fact that fake characters can attack your soul directly, so he could just use something to attack his soul. Limited Blade Works Guide. Especially if he has like higher dimensional manipulation, then he would just be able to bypass that. Because like if Gilgamesh is above, say like space-time, whatever, that he's like 8th dimensional with the moon cell and shit like that, then he's just like dimensionally transcendent of like the dimensions that the Infinity works on. So they could just go through it that way. Easily argue that he has infinite speed or inaccessible speed, that he could bypass it. What else? Also considering that Infinity is stated to be a rate of convergence, he would be able to bypass it that way. because like it basically divides. Yeah, it'll be in my Gojo versus Ainz video, because basically all of my arguments for the infinity are in my script. So I would have to like read through my script to find that again. But Gilgamesh does have like multiple weapons which would be able to spatial manip and bypass it. There is also the fact that he's escaped like places with like, that are like infinite and stuff like that. Yeah, he does have a scythe which ignores durability and like cuts right to the bone or stuff like that. Like it bypasses durability. Let's see, Control F, scythe. That's not how you spell scythe. Control F. Oh, let me see. I think this was the scythe. Instantly tries to block the weapon approaching her neck with her gauntlet, but it's useless. Sickle goes through her arm like the gauntlet isn't there and takes away her magical energy, as if cutting away her bone and not her flesh or blood. What else do we have? I'm just trying to go through all the things. Star. Yeah, like with it being a rate of convergence to infinity, you can argue that he could blitz through it. That's like one thing. Also, if you use Triple C Gilgamesh, then Gojo wouldn't be able to harm him because of the what do you call it? What was it called? The 10 crowns. Because it could conceptually nullify attacks into non-existence, so Gojo wouldn't be able to touch him either. Even if you said Gilgamesh couldn't bypass the infinity, then Gojo couldn't bypass the 10 crowns. So, there's that. Oh yeah, Gilgamesh possesses a grail which can grant wishes and twist the world. Oh, well, he has a grail in Babylonia. But, it can, like, change how magic is used in a dimension and shit like that, so you could argue he could just use a grail to, like, manipulate the energy or whatever, I don't know. Some whack-ass shit. Gilgamesh can also make portals from Chaldea to other places, Chaldea existing off the temporal axis. But then again, when he does make that portal, it is, like, in a normal place. Yeah, when the world's, like, not gone to hell. Where was it in? I think it was in Emiya's tab here. Bladeworks, Durandil, Harpe. Yeah, here it is. Khalid Bolg, Burgess, was that the one? No, that wasn't the one. Oh yeah, no, here it is. Guessing that distortion in space, but Castor would have been twisted along with space itself, even if Castor had transported herself. Khalid Bolg can do that. Yeah, it's just that Aya basically works in the way that it hurts servants with the star attribute or whatever, so like most servants have that. Yeah, they do say like a lot of the stuff, like just like random stuff that he has. Like he has potions of youth, he has Viema, which is stated to have nuclear warheads on it and stuff like that, so he has nuclear warheads within the Gate of Babylon. So you could argue that he could just fly Viema and drop a nuke and explode it and just irradiate the area. like that is something he could do. It's like it's literally something he could do. Trying to find the Viema statement. Yeah, here it is. Viema has fallen in the sky for the first time in the third volume. His Majesty, the King of Heroes, mobile weapon. He uses solar energy produced from a solar crystal that burns mercury as fuel. to move a high-tech Indian noble phantasm that would make even Area 51 pale-faced. Even though in ancient Indian mythology, it also had ranging even though in ancient mythology it also had weapons ranging from ancient machine guns to ancient nuclear warheads. And it puts Area 51 to shame. So, like, if you think Area 51 has nuclear weapons, then he can drop nukes on people. That is something able to be done. That poison is just extremely lethal. I'm trying to think. Pretty sure. I don't know if I've put anything in this page. What do you call it? Phantasm Gilgamesh would have due to him having a prototype to every phantasm would be what do you call, or yeah, so he would have the funny dagger, at least a prototype of it, which can sever magical poison. I don't know, that could be something he could do. I'd have to double check. Servant, I think servants can be poisoned, but it's like really hard to do that. Like there's Sammy Ramis, who's like a poisoner and whatnot. Oh yeah, there is also this, where Gilgamesh says that the Holy Grail is infinite power. It's pretty wild when I found that. Or when I was talking to Gilgamesh in my room, and he's just like, oh yeah, the Grail just has infinite power. Glossary of the Holy Grail. Yeah, there's a lot of scans that I added to my Gilgamesh things since I posted that video about Gilgamesh, like power scaling him. I'm trying to think, where did it stop in the new stuff I have? I think I stopped around here. Like stuff with the White Titan shaking the infinite void of space. Higher dimensional mind hacks. No, I went further. No, this is when I started adding new stuff. This is just like stuff about the extra guidebooks. More AS stuff. Star beginning separates heaven and earth. Yeah, and I'm Elish, the space cutting tool. Gilgamesh already knows about Chaldea. This is basically the whole ass statement about Ea and where exactly it's from in the novels. King of Heroes. Can sense the density of magic. Yeah, so I've definitely found like more stuff. I know like nothing about Void Shiki. All I know is that she has something to do with the root. That she like embodies the root or something like that, or she can use the power of the root, which is stated beyond all possible, like just like at an apex point beyond dimensional theory is what the statement says, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, this one. According to occult studies, apex point beyond the world described in dimensional theory. And like, dimensional theory exists. Higher dimensions exist. All these concepts exist within Fate. And like, even Nasu himself can't describe how strong the root is, or like what the root is, because it's just like so powerful that not even the author, who can come up with all these like mathematical concepts, can't describe it. And I think it was something about Void Shiki being able to like embody it or something, like to embody the root or to use the power of the root or something like that. So you can argue she's like hella fucking cracked. Yeah, got a lot of stuff in there. My back. Oh, my back. Da, da, da. More trigger. But yeah, my next video will be Ainz versus Gojo. I found so much more Ainz stuff since I made my Ainz video. Like, so much more. Like, I found so much more concrete scaling to get Ainz, like, above country level. Like, or to have Ainz be country level casually. Like, I found so much scaling for that. I got, like, a bunch of calcs for, like, the black hole that he creates. I found, like, I found a Google Doc that has the script for the CD drama of Overlord, which has, what do you call it? It's, like, kind of like this weird, like, arc where Ainz and, like, the Guardians fight this tree, which is a threat to, like, destroy the planet or something. And Ainz can just, like, no-diff it. Or something. Which is pretty wild. I also came up with a better, higher tier scaling for Ainz, like, to get him to, like, above planet level. Or, like, above star level, even. But even then, it's, like, dependent on, like, the lore of the verse and stuff. But in my Gojo versus Ainz video, I will say right now that I do not use the universal scaling. I do not stick to the, like, the universal meta or anything like that. I don't use it at all. I use it to scale some stuff, but I specifically don't use the meta to scale it to universal. But yeah, I found, like, lore about the 13 heroes and statements with, like, Shaltir being, like, a stronger than this thing that they fought. Even more concrete lightspeed scaling. Like, but yeah, just, like, more concrete stuff. Yeah, she's directly connected to it and within the movie, and pretty sure the novel says she is the root and tells her love interest for him to wish one thing and she'll grant almost anything. Yeah, I don't know anything about Tsukihime, so... Or, was it Tsukihime that she's from? No, she's... Was she from Tsukihime? It's like Kira no Kai or something, right? Yeah, Kara no Kyokai. She's not from the thing there. She's from Kira no Kai. Kara no Kyokai. There we go. That's where she's from. That's a stomp. That is a stomp. Roblox Gojo. Oh, that's not even funny. That's not even funny how bad she fucking kills him. Cause, like, I know her power is, like, the mystic eyes of death perception, which, like, allows her to see somebody's lifespan in front of her, and then she can just cut their lifespan. Or something like that. Like, there's no fucking way. She fucking clears that fight. Yeah, that's a interesting matchup. I know, I think Seth the programmer at one point said he was gonna make a Shiki video, but he never did. he was gonna like scale her to boundless or whatever, and it was gonna be awesome. Never posted, never did it. I actually did watch Seth did a stream last night, and I watched it today while I was at work. Because I was just like working in the office, so I was just like listening to it. Ooh, Yanni boy. I watched the stream, and he's got like a bunch of Naruto videos he's gonna post. He said that he's gonna make a Gilgamesh video soon. But once Seth makes that Gilgamesh video, it's gonna be peak. Considering his Saber video was peak, it's gonna be great to see the Gilgamesh one. Like someone's ability to see the future, and he ended up losing that eye. Yeah, I only know about her being able to cut somebody's like death, or like I think it's like, I can't remember if it was the concept of longevity, or like she cuts somebody's longevity so she can just like cut their lifespan done. No, Seth is gonna come back. He hold on. Twitch. Am I still signed in on Twitch on PC? I am. Just gonna pause that. Yeah, Seth, he streamed a month ago and he streamed yesterday. But he said what's basically been taking him so long is that he reread all of Naruto. He's got to reread all of Boruto, and he's read every data book. And he said he's been making like a document that's just like a literal book of just notes on Naruto, and then he's gonna make a couple Naruto videos. And somebody in the chat was like asking him like Fate questions, if he was gonna make more Fate videos, and he said that he would make a Gilgamesh video. So that might happen, which would be pretty rad. Because I really like Seth's Artoria video. Because, like, it's basically everything that I say with new info that I didn't know about. Like, I didn't know that Tamamo literally ran back in time like a Looney Tunes character and kicked the moon cell, destroyed it, and, like, had, like, a weird, like, anime training arc where, she just ran back in time and trained herself to beat the moon cell. Like, I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know that happened. I didn't know the statement about Nasu saying that, like, there's nothing he can say that describes the root. And he has, like, knowledge of, like, mathematical concepts and shit. And, like, literally dimensional theory and all this stuff is said, and, like, higher dimensions and stuff is mentioned within the original visual novel. I didn't know that. So, like, there's stuff that he can find out that I've never heard of. But I definitely would be incredibly excited if he made another Fate video. Yeah, so that man's will be coming back. What else we got? Yeah, like I think it's at like 350k views, so like it did good. It's not like, it's definitely not his like highest viewed video, but it did good. The thing with Fate scaling is it's either people agree with it or they vehemently or vehemently, however it's pronounced, disagree with anything you bring up, no matter what. Like if you say, oh well, this character is stated to be higher dimensional, it's like, oh, that just means or something else, it's a different dimension, it's not a higher spatial dimension or something. It's like, okay, but here is a statement saying they're looking upon the universe as if it was a flat scroll. And then it's like, oh, that doesn't mean anything because they're just viewing it from a different they're just viewing the universe from a different angle. And it's like, okay, well, it's straight up stated to be a higher dimension that views lower dimensions as flat spaces. That is literally the definition of a higher dimension in physics. That they view, like, even Neil deGrasse Tyson, who's like a fucking astrophysicist, is like the first dimension, second dimension, third dimension, fourth would see the third as flat, fifth would see the fourth as flat, so on and so forth. And like, you know, and then I think I got into like a minor debate with somebody on Twitter where they were like, fate's not even planetary or something, and I was like, okay, well, Aya's said to like destroy the planet or something. The thing with that about the debunk for that, because like sure there is stuff that says like the spirit origins break down when they reach the speed of light, but that's basically you can counteract that by saying that they're not limited to go the speed of light. You could say that light is faster within the verse, kind of like how you can argue light in DC is, or light in DC and Marvel is faster than normal light and whatnot. Like there are ways to counteract that. And then you literally have in Fate Triple C, you have Tamamo straight up saying she flew from across the galaxy over to the characters, that she straight up flew there. Like she can fly across a galaxy instantaneously or within a couple seconds, like or you have like a Skandar, for example, in Fate Zero. Because Excalibur, let me see here. Fate, Artoria, Control F. Did I not do that? Do I have an Iskandar tab? I do. I don't have the calc on hand, but basically it's what's it called? Excalibur is stated to use light, and that the beam that it emits uses an accelerated convergence, which is like, I'm trying to find the statement in my server somewhere. My god, stars, mystery, no phantasm, Excalibur transforming the mana of its wielder into light, which multiplies via convergence and acceleration. So yeah, it's straight up stated to be accelerated light. And Iskandar in Fate Zero, point blank, within the blink of an eye, gets out of the way and like goes into a tree like across a highway or something. So he literally dodges a light speed attack that's directly in front of his face and like moves out of the way. So it's like you clearly have people in Fate Zero moving around Excalibur, which is accelerated light, and stuff like that. And then they say like, oh, it's not light speed. And it's like, it's stated to be light speed. Like there was one specific scan that was like from one of the games that said, once again, that Excalibur is well, it's in the Fate Extella material book, but in this other one, yeah, increasing its, yeah, so Holy Sword transforms the owner's magic into light, increasing its momentum due to the convergence and acceleration, and allows them to move at like divine levels. So I mean, Excalibur again is straight up stated to be faster than normal light because it's accelerated light. And you have people dodging it. It's just like in Fate Go. They say that they cannot move more than the 2 million something miles per hour because their spirit origin breaks down. And it's like, that just means they're slower in that version. But then they say, oh, we're slower than light, or we're try to debunk Excalibur being literal light so servants can save. Yeah. They say debunk, but it's like, it's stated to be accelerated light. Like, I have the scan right here. Here we go. Like, this is from the Extella material book. The Sword of Light It is not a weapon made by human hands, but a divine construct forged by the stars. It is the most supreme noble phantasm among divine swords. Excalibur transforms the mana of its wielder into light, which it multiplies via convergence and acceleration. Thaumaturgical actions on the level of divine spirits. So physically says that it is moving at the speed of light there. And Excalibur in the novel, I have it right here. Fate Zero Act 10. From the light novel, which is canon, because even the manga says that the light novel is canon to the anime and the manga. The prana accelerated by the factor of the released dragon became a streak of light. So, like, it's said multiple times that Excalibur is light, and people can dodge Excalibur casually. So, I don't see why people like have a debunk for that when it's just straight up stated to be accelerated light. And then you have like the Tsubame Geishi being stated to be so after Summon, he had to finally master his swordsmanship. The constant space time to produce three-way slash multidimensional that transcends the elements of speed, precision, and faintlessness. So yeah, you have like even this like transcending speed. Yeah, so it's just weird. And then they debunk Fate being below planetary. It said like, oh well, they said it's impossible to destroy the planet Earth, therefore they're not planetary. And then it's like, okay, well, Da Vinci and Sherlock were the two smartest people in the series. Straight up state that there are outside forces that prevent the planet from being destroyed, that the planet has protection that keeps it from being destroyed. And it's like, Karna is literally stated to have an anti-world, or no, he has an anti-divine noble phantasm, which destroys Achilles' shield, which is only weak to anti-world phantasms, and whether you argue Achilles' shield can conjure the planet Earth and everything, and whatever. Also, you can't really destroy Earth because these servants can't really destroy Earth because Avalon is a part of the planet's inner sea, like it is in the center of the planet, and it is said to be a sixth-dimensional realm. So it's like, it's literally protected by outside, like higher dimensional outside forces. And the thing is, when servants are summoned, they are a fragment of the actual body. So they're fragments of things, and they're performing higher dimensional feats. So it's like, come on, man. Come on. Come on, son. Come on. But yeah. That's how it should be. It just happens. What else do I got? Oh yeah, even in Fate Extella, there's a statement that says like Ku can like thrust his spear at light speed. I'd have to refine the statement, but there's like a scene in Extella where Iskandar is like, I think, talking to Achilles or something, and he's like, you can even like thrust your spear at the speed of light or something, or faster than light. And charm. Trying to search up. Calcs. It's all Gazef. That's the plug promote channel. The thing with the Disori twins in the Lost Belt, they are stated that they are moving at the speed of light, and they're like dying because of it, or no, that they're moving near light speed, and Musashi is like able to fight them and stuff like that. But then again, you can just argue that they're weaker in Grand Order. but even then they're able to fight higher dimensional concepts and like dodge and react to Excalibur. So because like there is stuff where Da Vinci like actually says the amount of miles per hour that light is, and they stated that no servant or nothing can be the speed of light. Meanwhile, again, you have these contradicting statements about characters attacking at light speed and then people being able to react to it. So like I just don't like, there is a lot of contradictions on that. So you can just counter that argument that say that it's contradicted by everything else in the series, saying that like all this other stuff is light speed. It's pretty whack. Pretty whack. Yeah, I do gotta remake my Hassan video too. I gotta do that at some point. Oh yeah, there was also the thing with Musashi, where she, like another thing with Musashi. I think I put it under my Kojiro tab. ABC. Sasuke Kojiro. Then there's this stuff here. I was going to argue that it's because they have to use their authority, which we know when servants do that, it causes great harm to themselves. Well, then it, like, I mean, you've probably watched my videos, so, but I do show, like, a lot why, authorities are conceptual, and it's, I found one that, like, even further. Here's of it, Valentine's, no. The Christmas event. Christmas 2022. Yeah, so in this event, black presents are conceptually sealed, and compares this conceptual thing to authorities or something on the level, which finally enough proves that authorities are conceptual. And it's caused by Virtua, who blocks the concept of Christmas presents. It's like she quite literally blocks the concept of Christmas presents with her authority. And then gods wield their authority. And then gods are stated to be concepts because their authority... Or no, they are their concept or whatever. So if there's a god of water, whatever, they have authority over water. And said that they're conceptual, blah, blah, blah. Conceptually cut off from the outside world. Yeah, this was a whack thing. Yeah, paste to block the concept of Christmas presents. Like, that's such a stupid line. It's so stupid. Oh yeah, and then I think she shuts down more concepts. What is the word? Yeah, basically the concepts behind these worlds, or the space they occupy if you prefer, have been shut down. So she's literally shutting down the concept of space. So, and space and time, so everything so everything freezes. Because like they're like, oh, this world is frozen. Why though? It's like they're stopped because she got rid of their concepts. Like, it's so stupid. And people say fate has no scaling. Meanwhile, people can get rid of the concept of space and time. Like, it's crazy. Say if you use some kind of fire magecraft or fire-based noble phantasm to burn an entire area here to the ground, it would infect the area temporarily, but it wouldn't do anything to the base reality of the world itself. Then again, you can argue servants' attacks are conceptual anyway. So it's crazy. Yeah, and dragons being concepts. Where's Virtua's original power? Consider a natural phenomenon as immortality via resurrection. Virtua embodies the concept of growing through adversity. Yeah, like even... Like, I mean, she is a dragon. Dragons are concepts already. Yeah, so what's the actual thing? It's right. I think it's caused by a huge temperature drop, but it actually isn't. The cold is apparently just a side effect. In a sense, the cold was added on after the fact to match everything being frozen. And what do you mean? Basically, concepts behind these worlds of the space they occupy have been shut down. They've been blocked from functioning as normal, like the name Occluded suggests. Now they just exist, complete entities onto themselves, neither affecting nor being affected by anything else. So like fire-based noble phantasm, which you can argue the attacks are consensual, blah blah blah. So even with the bamboo force from yesterday, Asva was able to use noble phantasm to make a simple path, but it would have been fundamentally impossible to destroy the forest itself. Hell, even the paths he made will have blocked themselves off by now. Virtue are used to create widespread drought by blocking off the world's water and sealing it away in mountains. And it said that when she did it, it was conceptual, because she seals the concept of water, and then she uses that same authority to seal the concept of Christmas presents, and then she can seal the concepts of like space and stuff like that. Like, it's disgusting. It is disgusting. like in the Valentine's event too. There's some really good stuff with this. Someone's heart crust, bitter shadows. Yeah. So this bazooka's power is directly affected by how much love its user has in their hearts. So since I love every person on Earth, every shot I fire with it hits with the force of the entire planet. And in your case, you were incinerated by Shiva, making you a being that's essentially the universe. Which means that by loving you, my god bazooka's power is equivalent to Earth and the universe combined. And like, we know the Fate universe is infinite, because in Fate Extella they say the infinite void of space. So just fire an infinite universe plus a planet onto her. So like she could just fire universes at people potentially. Love chocolate. Represses the 7 deadly sins. Oh yeah. Of emotion within someone's soul and fills it with love. Bitter shadows are created via the excess emotions given form, which is why they are mortal and can't be destroyed with violence. And then it mentions agape, basically being the highest form of God's love according to the New Testament, a transcendent brotherly love, so to speak, and is contrasted with eros or erotic love and philia, eros being who Karen literally is, with like this being event. Yeah, Karen's pretty great. God Karen getting stronger but bottlenecked. Lord directly influences things. Super God Karen or Devil Karen is 3 times stronger than God Karen is already normal Karen. She now embodies true agape. God's love, as in biblical God, is universal and simply exists and gives definition of agape, which falls in line with what I said previously. She then breaks the 4th wall by promoting an event from another game. Ugh. And agape is stated infinite too, which is pretty wild. This is a fun bit. Super God Karen. She's a literal baby. God, just the amount of like ridiculous scaling that comes from like the Fate events is crazy. Oh yeah, then they fight the concept of a museum in the Slapstick Museum event. Craft. Oh yeah, the Galatea chick can craft things at light speed. Oh yeah, I forgot I was reading the Fate Go. So I actually bought the first 3 volumes of the Fate Grand Order manga, so I have them physically, but I was reading it online at one point. Servants are the very concept of human history and exist in a higher plane. There's like the scythe that kills immortals and infests your soul and drains you. Excalibur Morgan, threat to the world. Salter is nerfed in the final fight. Connects singularity to Chaldea makes Olga touch it, comparing the black hole where she suffers infinite death. Whack. But yeah, I definitely got to read the manga that I bought. It's really good. Akibar event. That was the Martha scaling I got for the video. I also got some stuff for Castoria, saying that in her third ascension, the staff exceeds Excalibur in raw power. Why does it say? Oh yeah, the hacks is 9 messages. Yeah, so she possesses Fey eyes, allowed her to see through lies and the true intent of people, and she can see through like curses. Can step through space-time, stepped over from Avalon to the infinite conceptual worm. Oh, that was somebody else putting that in there. Just more of my Lost Belt stuff. Didn't put anything in that. Didn't put anything in that. It's the Dragons tab. I should really get the feat of Tamamo running through time in this server. I think we'll ever see a true hero. I think in the Temple of Time it's their true forms. I think. Because heroic spirits are said to be separated from the concept of time, blah blah blah. The Temple of Time is beyond time and space, exists outside of it and off the temporal axis. And they manifest themselves in it on their own, so I think that's their true forms. I don't know. I could not tell you. Oh yeah. Well, there is the fact that Tamamo at full power can destroy the multiverse. That's a thing. That's a statement. Yeah, more tales become a very different sort of creature than I am now. Become a great demon strong enough to destroy the multiverse. And yes, understand that it isn't an exaggeration. I become a great demon, an avatar of the apocalypse itself. So it's like, goddamn. This bitch is quite literally gonna destroy the multiverse. And people say, fate ain't planetary. But she's gonna destroy the multiverse. So fate is a multiverse. We know that. And this is like in regards to like, I think with all of her 9 tails where she becomes like Amaterasu or whatever. And I think Gilgamesh and Triple C is stronger than that, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, this is like a lowballed calc of her being like 26 million times the speed of light, like casually. Which is pretty wild. But one thing that's, I can't remember if I already said, but I I found a site which has all the raw material books for Fate Grand Order. So like the Fako material books, it has all of them with the raw scans and everything. So like there's already a Reddit thread, which I posted in my videos, I think. Or at least I posted in my MMA video, I'm pretty sure. That that has all of the Fate Go material books translated. And yeah, so it has all the material books translated. Yawning. But it's all like in broken English. Yeah, I definitely remember talking about this, but I found a site which has them all raw, so I'm going to translate a bunch of Merlin's stuff to see if he actually transcends death and shit. So I know Tiamat is stated to transcend death, and that she literally has to have the concept of death forced upon her to be able to die, because she can't physically die. And she's immune to time paradoxes, so you can't even kill her with like wacky time hacks, because she just ignores time paradoxes and shit. It's pretty wild. Pretty wild stuff. I've been live for like 2 hours. I'm probably gonna head out. I gotta work early tomorrow. So, ooh, Seth posted on his streaming channel again. That's pretty wild. But yeah, I'm gonna head out and go to bed. Or maybe not go to bed yet, but I'm heading out. So I'll end the stream here. I'm pretty sure you're the only one here right now, so thanks for coming. Thanks for everyone else who did show up. And then Nines versus Gojo will be out at some point soon, whether I get off my ass to edit it or not.